647 actually. In all actuality, 647. I've been rolling. You know what I'm saying? This morning since 5 a.m. I ain't gonna say that's when I started my day. Whatever. Man, nobody on this morning. Just as of yet. You know what I'm saying? So just rolling. Man, I had this whole thing on my mind this morning about generational wealth. I always hear people talk about generational wealth, primarily my people, you know, people of color. And I always talk about generational wealth, you know what I'm saying? And I always felt like that was a phrase that somebody made up. You know what I'm saying? That, in my opinion, I feel like it really don't mean it. That's a phrase somebody's made up somewhere. You know what I'm saying? Because generational, that's a real word. So you can't say that's a made up word. Wealth is a real word. So you can't say that's a made up word. But the phrase generational wealth is bullshit. And people always pushing this whole generational wealth thing. And people supposedly are grinding so hard to leave something for their children. And now at the end of the day, now we can go back and the Bible does say a wise man leaves an inheritance for his children. It do say that. But what is it to leave an inheritance behind for an ignorant child? Now, if you naturally grind in life, it's because you have goals and desires, and you got things that you want a house, you want particular cars, you want your account to be in a particular amount, you want to have a particular amount of investments, you just got these goals that you set for yourself in life of assets that you want, you know what I'm saying, to be available for you in your life and then be available for your children after you pass. Which that's cool, like, and it's just automatic. You have these things, if you have these assets and all these things when you pass, generally speaking, it's automatically gonna go to your children unless it's some type of situation involved where you owe something or owe somebody or something may be in somebody's name. If it's some type of confusion about ownership of whatever it is, then that's a totally different thing. So that's where the wills come into play. That's where trusts come into play to negate all that type of shit. But if you don't teach your children, I feel like the most important thing that you have to do in life is teach your children. You have to go and learn and be about the shit that you're talking about. So if you're talking about generational wealth to your kids, or you talking about making money and building this and doing this, if you talking that shit to your kids, you need to be doing it. They need to see you doing the shit that you saying. You can't be sitting up there just sitting on your ass, not doing nothing, or just going to a 9 to 5 every day, but you talking to your kids about being wealthy and making money and being rich and being a millionaire and all this other type of shit, and they don't see you doing it, they don't see you trying to do it, they don't see you accomplishing nothing. So to them, you just talking. You know what I'm saying? That shit just gonna go in one ear and out the other ear. They ain't gonna give a damn about that. But the most important thing is you have to teach your kids the things that you think that your kids need in life. You have to teach them. That's the most important generational wealth that you have to pass to your children. Knowledge. That's what is important. Fuck a dollar, fuck a house, fuck a car, fuck a business. If your kids don't have knowledge to handle your business, they just gonna fuck it out. Then so all them 10, 20, 30 years of your hard work gonna be fucked out within a year or two because you didn't give your kids the fucking knowledge to maintain or handle it. You didn't teach them. The shit starts from the time they come out the motherfucking womb. You start preparing them for life. It's not always about dressing your kids up, making them cute, or making them handsome, whatever the case may be, and taking pictures and listening to them say cute shit. You have to teach your kids. You have to do shit like your kid want a bottle. And this is the type of shit I'm talking about out the womb. Your kid want a bottle. You have to make the bottle. They can't make the bottle they goddamn self, but they can crawl to the bottle or they can walk to the bottle. Let's say that they can walk. They at the point where they can walk, but they still on the bottle. Sit that motherfucker on the table and let them walk to it. And if they sit there in that one spot and just cry, instead of getting up off their ass and walking to that table and getting that bottle themselves, that's their problem. You do that shit, that's the type of shit you have to do from day one. You sit up there, your kid come and ask you for something, they want something. Tell them they gotta do something for it. Like, you gotta work for it. Like, do something. Like, it's you can't just be like, oh, they come in there, Mom, I want some new Jordans, I want some new Air Force Ones, I want this, that, or the third. And you just like, oh, okay, I get paid Friday. Friday come, you buy it for them, you give it to them. No. Fuck that. Like, are you doing your chores? Are you cleaning up? Is your room clean? Why are you giving a kid a new pair of shoes or a new pair of jeans, or you keep putting money on their roadblocks if their room is dirty, if their room not clean, if their grades is not up, if they not keeping the house clean, if they not taking out the trash, if they not doing things around the house without being told to do it? If they are not doing all of that or some of that or something, they shouldn't be getting nothing. You know, and because if you just do it, like their room is filthy, their grades is low, they come ask you for something and you go get it for them. And you do that their whole childhood. So then when it comes to them being an adult, they gonna be on that same type of mind frame, just sitting on their ass waiting for somebody to give them something. And so you have to get them in the routine of, you have to work for what you want. You have to sacrifice something for what you want. You don't have to do it all the goddamn time. You could give somebody something here and there, but it shouldn't be an every day, every time situation. Your kids have to understand that in this world, they have to work for what the fuck they want. You know what I'm saying? Ain't nothing in this world for free. You gonna sacrifice something. You know what I'm saying? It just is what it is. And you know, it just is what it is. And so, but it's like everybody always pushing this generational wealth. A lot of times, like with generational wealth, like with a lot of these young black people that's basically either been born in the late 90s or the 2000s, they kind of ignorant like black history. They don't, like, we don't even pass down like black history. So they ignorant to like what went on before them. So if TikTok not telling them, Instagram not telling them, if YouTube or Facebook not telling them, they don't know. And then if they don't have the mindset of the mentality to go after it on their own, they just gonna listen. They just gonna be like, you know, they just gonna take as they get it. Now you got AI pushing out all kinds of just made up shit that people do, so they ain't gonna know what the fuck to do. But that's why it's important to you to put reality to it. We have to teach our kids our history. So if you black, you need to teach your kids black history. If you Mexican, you need to teach your kids Mexican history. If you're Korean, Vietnamese, whatever you are, then I would hope that you would be truthful about it and not, you know, just say a bunch of lies because you want to make things look better than what they are. But, you know, it's just an important thing. It's like, man, you can't just give, man, and my whole point to everything I'm saying draws back to generational wealth. If your kids are generationally dumb, everything that you done work for, everything that you've acquired, they gonna fuck it up. And a lot of kids, like I was back when I was talking about kids that's born in the 2000s or the late 90s, like 97, 98, 99, then you go off in the 2000s, they coming up today becoming adults and they looking around like, what the fuck? Why we don't have shit as black people in America? Like, why we this and why we that? Like, they don't know what went on prior to them. They like, why we don't have life insurance policies? Why is not more of us on the houses? My brother, we did own houses. We did have insurance policies. My grandparents, your great grandparents had houses, had own houses, and I'm not saying they was paying the mortgage, just paying the mortgage. A lot of them owned their house before they died. They paid the house off before they died, and they had life insurance policies. They had pension plans when they died. They had all this stuff when they died, and my parents or your grandparents fucked it out. They fucked it out. All them motherfuckers most of them people born in the 60s and the early 70s, when they got in control of all that shit that black people worked for, they fucked it off. If it was a black business and their parents owned a black business, they didn't want to be a part of the black business. They wanted to go get a job somewhere. They wanted to go work at a warehouse or get an office job. They didn't want to work at the burger stand that they daddy opened up. They didn't want to work at the barbecue restaurant that they daddy opened up. They didn't want to work at the beauty salon that they mom owned. They didn't want to do that stuff. You had kids that didn't want to work the farm no more, that they granddaddy. It's been in the family for fucking 4-5 generations, but they've come to their generation, they don't want to do it. They want to move to the city and and be in the city and go get a job and all that kind of shit like that. And then when they had kids, then when the farmland become their responsibility, they just sold it off. Or they just didn't do shit with it. And the city or state, whoever was had domain as far as Texas is concerned, just eventually came and took it. And then sold that motherfucker for bottom dollar to some developer or something like that. That's what happened to all the generational wealth in the black culture. It was fucked off by the motherfuckers that was born in the 60s and the early 70s, basically. That's where probably about 90% of the motherfucking shit. You know what I'm saying? If that shit wasn't taken by white folks through taxes or through whatever other crooked shit they be doing, that shit was just fucked off by people either not maintaining it, not paying the taxes, or just selling it for no fucking reason because they didn't want to deal with it. I remember knowing people who had houses that they got because somebody in the family died, and they didn't do shit with the house. They didn't rent the house out. They didn't move in the house. They just had this house, and the house was just sitting there. And eventually one day, the taxes run up enough, the city come take it. They sell it to some real estate agent or whoever the fuck for bottom dollar. It happens so many fucking times, and I don't watch this shit, happen over my lifetime. Just again and again and again and again, to the point to where now you got the new fresh group of 20-year-olds that's looking like, hey, where is this? Like, why we don't have this? Why we don't have that? And and nobody's giving them an explanation as to why or where it went or why when I grew up, the area where I lived in, it was black businesses everywhere. Every automotive shop was owned by a black person. If it was a collision, it could have been a collision shop, a engine repair shop, a lube and tune shop. It was a used car dealerships, and restaurants, beauty salons, barber shops, record stores, and corner stores, and another thing we used to have a lot of back in the day was tailor shops. People who would tailor your outfit, like, you go and buy a suit, they tailor it to, it's a tailor, they tailor it to your body. We had those type of businesses. In our community, we had so many fucking businesses. That's what I grew up seeing. I grew up seeing black people with businesses. I grew up watching black people, they was all old, but I grew up watching these people have their own businesses while the generation that they produced was going to get jobs and shit. Because they didn't want to work in the tailor shop. They didn't want to work in the beauty salon. They didn't want to work in the barbecue. They didn't want to smell like barbecue all day. They didn't want to do none of this shit. They wanted to go get a job, or they wanted to go get on crack and or some other fucking drug and then fuck everything off. And that's basically what went on. And so it's like, And so it's just, whose fault is it? You got the generation before them that built generational wealth. They provided a house that was paid for. They provided insurance policies that was either anywhere from 50,000 to 100,000 to 150,000, and they provided that. They if they was in the military, they provided a situation where you could go to fucking college and not have to pay for shit. I've seen people have those opportunities and they didn't utilize the opportunity. You had all this type of shit. Then the generation of kids that they produce decide that they don't want nothing to do with none of that shit. Whose fault is that? Then when you come up to now and it's like 80s babies is trying to, 80s babies and late 70s babies is trying to like work and fill that gap back in, because it's like we see what was lost, so now we working our ass off trying to fill that gap back in and get us as a culture back on track. And then we got the younger culture coming up behind us and they like, where the fucking money at? Like what happened? Like why we don't have this and why we don't have that? And it's like we working our ass off, we doing the same shit that our grandparents and great-grandparents did. We working our ass off to produce all this shit and not relaying the information of I'm doing this because of this. I'm doing this stuff because for you and for your kids and for your children and for your children's children. This is what I'm doing with this. And so when it's your time, when it's time for you to take over this is what you need to do with it. This is how you need to handle it. This is how you need to manage it. It's important for you to do this. If you don't find nothing better to do than this, then come back and do this. And so we can push this and make this bigger than what it is. So when your kids are adults, they don't have to go and beg nobody for a job. They can just work wherever, they can just find them a position in the family business. You know, they can just manage the family properties. You know what I'm saying? It's like, but everybody is stuck on generational wealth. Let's go build, let's go buy houses, let's go buy cars, let's go open up business. But if you don't relate that goddamn message to your kids while you are doing it and showing them moves that you are making, you wasting your motherfucking time. Yeah, you wasting your time. It just is what it is. People have to sit up there and realize that you have to teach. The first important part of generational wealth is teaching your kids. For one, making sure they got the best education as possible. You know what I'm saying? And then two, giving them the understanding that they need to work for whatever the fuck they want. They got to get up and they got to go get it for themselves. Nobody's going to do it for them. They don't need to be sitting around waiting for no waiter or no handouts. They need to go get it for themselves. And then three, they need to understand how to manage shit. They need to have savings habits. They need to have investment habits. They need to be able to understand the difference between having the power and having money. Sometimes it's more valuable to have the power than to have the money. Ownership is everything. Ownership is everything. And you have to understand when is the right time to sell and when is the right time to hold. You know what I'm saying? They got a song say you gotta fucking know when to fold. What the hell that goddamn country song go? It's like shit, you gotta know when to hold them, know when to fold them, and know when to walk away when the deal is done. Man, you gotta give the kids the full understanding. You can send a kid to college and give them the most expensive education in the world. You can spend $50,000, $100,000, $150,000 sending your kid to college. But if they fucking don't have no common sense, you wasting your motherfucking time. You wasting your time, man. It just is what it is. You wasting your time. It's like you wasting your time, man. You gotta teach. You have to teach the first step of so-called generational wealth is teaching your kids how to maintain generational wealth. that's one of the most important things. It's like if you don't start out with that, everything else you just waste your motherfucking time. It's like and I'm done with that whole topic, whatever. I'm just kind of stressed that you have to teach your kids. You have to give your kids an understanding. And another reason why you have to teach your kids, we all grown. Like, assuming everybody watching this is grown. We have all sat up and come across people who say shit like, who come across something they never experienced, and they be like, oh, nobody ever taught me that. Or they say shit like, well, my mama never did this, or my daddy never taught me that, or my mama never taught me that, or my parents never taught me that, or my people never taught me that. Nobody ever taught me. Nobody ever taught me. Nobody ever taught me. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, that ain't no fucking excuse. You know what I'm saying? It's like, people always saying that shit like, bro, that ain't no goddamn excuse. It's like, shit, don't nobody teach you. Okay, so what? Like, go fucking learn. Open up a book, read something, Google something. You know what I'm saying? Don't 100% take Google's word for it. Go get a book and open up a book, because Google Google is run and maintained by a group of people who push, different type of agendas when they, feel the need to. So you can't 100% just really rely fully on the word of fucking Google. So it's like you have to, go through other sources. I remember I was watching a video, something real. I forgot if it was on Instagram or what the hell it was on. But this dude was showing that Google is biased to the way you ask questions. And so if you ask Google a question in a certain kind of way, it will answer that question in a certain kind of way. So if you ask Google a question like, I don't know, I'm trying to think of a good example. You can ask Google a question like, or is a Chevy Tahoe a problematic car? And it'll give you one set of answers. If you go back and you say, why is Chevrolet Tahoe such a problematic vehicle? It's gonna give you a whole other set of answers. And you basically ask the same question in two totally different ways, but it's gonna give you a different type of answer. So it's like that's the reason why I say you can't 100% rely on what you find on the internet all the time. Sometimes you gotta go actually read a book or look up some old newspaper articles or something to maybe get 100% understanding of whatever you trying to learn or figure out or whatever that may be. You know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. But it's very important that we teach our children. You know what I'm saying? The way that the government is underfunding these schools and leaving it in the hands of local government to deal with whatever funding their schools may need. And then depending on what type of local government you have, they may be holding the fucking the money that the schools need. Like here in Texas, we have like I think it's $24 billion being withheld by our government from the federal government that's supposed to go to programs that's in the state, from schools to just whatever. You know what I'm saying? Whatever the funding is for, medical, all that kind of stuff. We literally have a fucking governor that's just sitting on this money and won't allow it to be utilized for the purpose of what it's utilized for. But he won't give it back because he don't want it to go to another state that's a Democratic state or a blue state, whatever you want to call it, and that will ultimately get, because if he sends it back to the feds, they'll get it and send and disperse it to other states. So it don't go to a blue state, they just sit on the money. And so and here in Texas, we got, I think it's either 24 billion or 26 billion that's been accumulated over so many years, just sitting somewhere in the account, and that can't be utilized. You know what I'm saying? Can't nobody access it, can't nobody use it. He won't send it back, and it's just gonna either probably sit there until another governor come into play, or people, demand that the money be used. And at the same time, people are so fucking brainwashed and fucking brain dead that they're not even trying to fight for the funds or fight to push them to utilize the funds, and they just sit here and watch, program after program get shut down for no funding. You know what I'm saying? And it's just, it's just one of them things. It's just, it is what it is. It's like when you live in one of the active states, I don't know what it is, what it's like to live in the states that's kind of more like calm states where it's not really always a political fucking fight all the time. Here in Texas, it doesn't matter what year it is, what decade it is, it's always a fucking political fight. It's like it's always some political fucking fight. We got a city here that has $4 million. They found that they had $4 million that had been going to Israel. And so they was like, they didn't understand why this $4 million was going to Israel out of their taxpayers' dollars. This was a city, I forgot the name of the city, and here in Texas. It was on the Channel 4 News. They talked about it on the Channel 4 News. This wasn't no shit I saw on the internet. But it was a city here in Texas. And I think it may be closer to Houston or something like that. I don't know. I don't remember where the city was. But and they was like, they had discovered that it was $4 million leaving their account going to Israel every fucking year. And so they was like, well, we not sending. So they had some more. They had the money again sitting in the account for whatever reason. And they was like, well, we're not sending it to Israel because we don't see no reason to send it to Israel. Like, why are we sending them $4 million? Our governor told them, sent them a personal message telling them that it is illegal for them to withhold that money and not send it to for them to not send it. If it's illegal for them, basically it's illegal for them not to send it to Israel. And if they don't send that money to Israel, it will be consequences behind them not sending that $4 million to Israel. And so it's like that city was still fucking confused. They like, why do we have to send them the money? So the news didn't even finish, then come to the conclusion of what was actually the conclusion of that issue. They don't even talk about the shit no more. They were like, they just said something about it and they moved on from it. And it's like, then shortly after that, you find out that we sitting over here on $24 fucking billion, not 24 million. Not 24 million, 24 billion fucking dollars that's been accumulated over so many years that the federal government had been sending since this dude was in fucking office and shit, since we've been having this government. And this motherfucker won't use it. And he won't use it and he won't send it back. And it's like, it's ridiculous, man. And so in Texas, we always have like stupid ass issues with our government. It just is what it is. It's always something. Been watching this shit since I was a kid, and I didn't know what the fuck was going on when I was a kid. But it's just funny to sit up there and continue to just watch this shit and continue to see that it's continually going on to this day. And It's just crazy. I don't know what it's like to be one of them states that, kind of calm and chill and don't really, they not so politically crazy and always some type of political outrage and all sort of kind of shit. It's a trip, man. It's a trip. Shit, man. But I gotta go on ahead and slide off into this gate and I'll hit y'all back later on. Make sure y'all go get y'all donuts. Get you a donut this morning.